Hey guys, I am Artosis and bringing you game number 3 of SlayerSMin against IMYongHwa. And this is from the ESV Korean Weekly Open, round number 2. Younghwa dispatched Min's teammate, Slayer's Koka, in round 1. And so Min trying to get some revenge here. It's been a great series so far. And if you haven't seen the other series or game 1 and game 2, they're all on my YouTube, youtube.com/ArtosisTV. Please check it out and give me a subscribe if you like this stuff. And anyways, let's get into this. This map is ESV Abode, and I don't actually really know this map, to be honest. This is, some of these new ESV maps. I haven't had a chance to really play recently. I've been traveling a lot for various tournaments around the world. It has some really cool terrain. For instance, look over here, right? This is kind of an interesting area, but it's very far on the side of the map. So that's areas like that I'm always interested in on a map like this, because if it goes to a super long macro game, these areas will suddenly be used a lot to siege up expansions, have high ground ways that you can run through. They could become very important. It's a high ground that oversees 3 bases. And something like that can be really interesting if we get into that super long game. But that's an area that we don't always get to in StarCraft 2. So, that gives you a lot of variety on this map, as opposed to some other maps where it's like, well, a map like Metalopolis, we've seen everything. The game, you pretty much know how it's going to look quite often. It doesn't really change the tactics of the game the deeper you get in. The terrain is all kind of the same all over the place. But this is an interesting one, so I'm kind of hoping this game goes long. Now, Min, as I've been harping on quite a bit in this series, really smart the way he's adjusting to Younghwa, and that's actually, oh my god, he almost got this drone. Look at that, 8 hit points left, just 2 probe shots. But, it's really awesome to watch what players adapt to each other, and Min really shows that here. This is one of the guys that early on was extremely good at creep spreading back when most people really were not. Nowadays, with how good the queens are, everyone's getting pretty good at it. But, that kind of shows some intelligence, right? And then he's adapting in games to Younghwa and Younghwa's style. And it's been great to see. But Younghwa, I feel like he's definitely a player that can adapt as well. So we'll have to see what he wants to do with that. He's going to want to cancel that. There you go. Just a slight block. Of course, this expansion going to be up slower than the Nexus. That's just something that a Zerg player has to do right now. It's the current balance of a 2-player map against Younghwa, because he does force a Zerg to basically play like that, or he's going to get cannoned. So, all right, Min going to go ahead and take that 3rd base as well. And in the meantime, there's not a whole lot to talk about. It's pretty standard. Just the double gas. We'll have to see what he techs into, whether he wants to go for Stargate tech or Robotech. Again, Younghwa, he sometimes does mix in Twilight tech, sometimes DT rush type stuff, but when he does that, it's normally kind of a cheesy, weird, different looking build. I think this is going to be much more standard from him. Once you're already in round 2 of the Korean Weekly, you're going to want to really pull out some strong builds, not necessarily just cheeses, to see if you get past the early rounds, which is something that actually we can see quite often in early rounds of online tournaments. But the later you go, man, it's like, well, darn, I'm far. Maybe I can actually win this. So anyways, let's take a look. The core still on the way. Not a lot that we can tell yet. Min, once again, getting that quicker gas. His gas is going up. He's probably just getting this for Zergling speed so that Younghwa can't actually mess with him out on the map. As you saw in the previous games, Younghwa pressing out with the Zealot and Stalker. And if you have that Zergling speed, it stops it altogether. So will Younghwa be going for that again this game? He might just open up with it because it's pretty solid anyways. Getting those 4 gates at that timing will allow you to actually macro appropriately. In fact, it looks like he's getting a little bit ready. Oh no, is he going to throw it on tech actually? He doesn't have a lot of money right now. There you go, the Stargate coming up. Alright, so a little bit different here from Younghwa. And Younghwa actually is one of the players right now that isn't making a lot of Void Rays. What the hell is this? Looks like you just needed to pause. He said, wait a moment, please. And he's back and go. Okay. Anyways, this is crazy. Male Ursadak. I think this is what the Zerg stole to get an Ultralisk. This thing is wild. Oh my god, I don't even care about the rest of the game. I've never seen that thing on maps. I want to see more of those. I feel like this is Warcraft 3 all of a sudden. Alright, so anyways, yeah, I mean, he's pushing out with a couple Zealots here. Of course, the Space Shark from ESV, that's on a lot of their maps. I don't think it's on all of them, though. Oh, I might be wrong. Anyways, so IMYongHwa right now is actually making the Void Ray, but as I said before, he's definitely a player that doesn't always make Void Rays, and the Overlord did see it's going to be Void Rays. Sometimes he goes straight into Phoenixes to get them over there quicker, because they have a really quick build time, a really quick travel time, and they're good for harassment. You know, obviously Void Rays can do a decent amount of harassment as well, but it's, you know, it's not always that effective nowadays. They're kind of slow. Queens can own them kind of hard. It's just the way it is. So he's going to get 2 Overlords here. He's kind of damaging both of them right now, getting his Void Ray fully charged. And, I mean, that's nice. He gets to clear out Overlords with that, at the very least. Oh, a female Ursadak. Hold on. Has a longer tail, no tusks. Huh. And in the meantime, there's a Zealot battle right next to it. Those things are huge. I wonder if those two ever find each other on the opposite sides of the map. Anyways, let's take a look at what Min is up to. Oh, wait a minute. We have something interesting going on. He's already got 2 Void Rays, getting a 3rd right now. So he's putting on some heavy Void Ray pressure. And you know what? With these +1 Zealots... Oh no, he does not want to lose his probe. This is actually critical that he keeps the probe alive, and he does keep it alive. What he's trying to do is get a lot of Zealots to make sure that he can kill off Queens, and then the Void Rays will deal with the Roaches. So this is a very powerful timing attack. It's kind of old. We don't see it that often anymore. And in fact, all these Queens coming out, the Void Rays are having a hard time, especially with the Roaches coming up to help out with the Zealots. He's going to want some more Warpins, more Zealots coming up right now. Oh no, he took her out. That's so sad. But forward he goes, and with this many Queens, I don't see this really working. More and more Zealots coming in. The Queen's using some great transfusions, but these Void Rays getting fully charged up. He's got to watch out about that. Fully charged Void Rays with all these Zealots doing a great job, but the Queen's doing a great job as well still. And IMYongHwa's starting to back up, but he does have an additional Void Ray. They lost their charge at this point, so he's got to be careful about that as well. The Queen's getting pretty low on health, and he's going to want some more of these Roaches to come out and help. He really needs them to take out these Roaches so the Queens can take out the Void Rays. And, well, a lot of Stalkers coming out as well, but the Void Ray number is falling. He's just got 2 right now, and it looks like SlayerSMin has successfully held this, and that means bad things for IMYongHwa. Look at the supply count right now, 67 to 110. IMYongHwa looking pretty hurt at the moment, and he's going to have to... I don't know what he's going to back this up with. It looks like he's going with Immortals, and this is actually a very old build that the Slayers clan actually introduced. The Void Ray Zealot pressure, really, they're the first ones like Crank and Brown, and you know, those are the guys that really started opening up with a lot of +1 Zealots and Void Ray harassment, and if the Zerg lived through that, back when it was really powerful in the metagame, they would follow it up with a very powerful Immortal Sentry timing, because your opponent kind of makes a lot of Roaches and Queens against that, and you can do reasonably well against that with the Immortal Sentries. So this is going to be something that SlayerSMin, a Slayer Zerg, is going to have a lot of practice against from IMYongHwa, but actually, is he just going to take another base? It's looking like it, even though it also looks like he's gearing up for that timing attack. And in fact, he is getting Warp Prism, so yeah, I don't think he is taking another base. I think, you know, he's just moving over here posturing like he is. And in fact, he's going to get a lot of Roaches for free, so this is going to make his timing attack all the more powerful. He's got to be careful, he doesn't want to lose too many sentries. In fact, he lost 2 or 3 sentries there, so those Roaches, their lives were not given in vain. Now, with this Warp Prism coming out, he's going to be able to warp in all over the place. Still has a couple Void Rays, which is pretty scary. Looks like Min may want to just do a counterattack here, which could be quite powerful. We'll see if he actually ends up doing that. A lot of Queens out in the middle. He does not want to lose these. This is still anybody's game. This is a very powerful attack coming up. But this counterattack, this is what I really like to see. And there's nothing here to guard it. Oh my god, this is bad news right now for IMYongHwa. IMYongHwa's going to have to warp in a bunch of units at home to deal with this, or go home. Is he just going to go for base trades here? Or no, he's going to warp in some units, using probes as well. But Min is doing damage to the economy and killing off some units over here, which is great for him. But they will be killed off indeed. Now, this is a lot of Queens and a lot of Roaches. He's doing a great job right now. He knows to make those extra Queens to help take out the Void Rays, and if that Warp Prism comes up as well. And in fact, he's going to have a lot of transfuses as well. He's got to be careful. He doesn't want to just wash up against the Force Fields forever. A lot of damage being done. The Overlord's being brought in specifically to take extra hits. from any stalkers that misfire. A lot of drones coming up as well. YoungHwa is doing a lot of damage, but how many force fields does he actually have left? It looks like he has none right now, and that's an issue. That is a big problem for him. You need a lot of force fields to make this push actually work. And we do have some Lings and more Roaches on the way for Min. Still using a lot of transfuses. Notice he has quite a few left on his Queens. That's going to help out a lot. But these Immortals dealing sick amounts of damage. They are so powerful in this composition. And some more Stalkers being warped in. Some more units walking over too from the main base to help defend that counterattack. And, oh, those were almost amazing force fields. If he had trapped those extra Roaches down here, I would almost call the game for YoungHwa. But too early to call it right now. Warping in another sentry as well. He's got to get these Zealots in the front for when he finally pushes in without retreating. He's doing a lot of micro-base stuff right now, which is smart. But eventually, he's going to just go for it. Now, a lot of Roaches still up here trying to keep a good concave. And YoungHwa just doesn't have the force fields required here. And a lot of that reason is because of that little attack we saw over here with the Roaches where he killed 2 or 3 sentries and also got a lot of force fields out of him. If he still had 2 or 3 more sentries in here, he could get these force field arcs that kill off half the Roaches. And those would be huge. And in fact, a Spore Crawler coming up, that's kind of interesting. I think that's just maybe to tank some damage. I'm not sure how much I really like that right there, though. Oh, and in fact, some decent force fields at that time. Every time he can get a few extra Roaches, it's going to help. Notice how the supplies are coming more and more even. And, ooh, Min is trying to get into Infestor Tech here. 1 Infestor on the way. And that's going to be something that's important. If that Infestor gets out, it's going to be very powerful. But, I mean, that's a big commitment as far as cost goes. And in fact, YoungHwa has decided that he's done enough damage and Min is defending this too well, and he's actually trying to go home and take his 3rd base. A very brave decision by YoungHwa to just turn off this attack. He says, alright, you've made enough Roaches. I've done a good enough job here. And his army has developed quite a bit. You know, he was in a lot of trouble before because his original attack didn't work. But 133 supply with good force fields and good choke points, you can hold off a maxed Zerg Roach army. So he actually does have the opportunity to go home and take this expansion right now. And this is getting pretty interesting. And this is the point where we might start seeing this high ground area get used. You know, this is we're getting pretty late into this game, so this is getting very interesting right now. Oh, it's a baby. Sorry, your mother is dead. We do have, let's see what Min is doing. Oh, he's going for a Nidus network. That's interesting to me as well. YoungHwa actually has really great pylon spreads right now. I'm not sure what he wants to do. He might want to put it up here. And, you know what? In fact, he might want to have 2 of them. Like, 1 out here and 1 up here eventually. So that he can actually jump the Roaches back and forth, like, push up here, force the force fields, jump in the Nidus, push down here, force fields, back and forth, back and forth. In fact, you notice YoungHwa is already preparing for any possible attacks down here. Now, Min, he is getting the +2. He's got his creep spread looking really good. The Warp Prism coming in, but he knows all about this. He's completely ready. In fact, he saw that coming because of the Overlord, so don't expect that to really do any damage. But even just floating up here is something that's going to make Min a little bit nervous. You know, he's going to have to keep an eye on it because if it does warp in any units and his units are all across the map attacking, that's going to be rough. Now, where do we actually have that? Oh my god, this might just end up being a win, man. This is actually huge, and YoungHwa hasn't seen it. That's definitely something that he has no vision of. Oh my god, YoungHwa actually did not see. This was the one area he couldn't see despite pylons all around it until it popped up and the creep came out. That is huge by Min, and so many units going into his main base, coming over here and fungling some units on the ramp, preventing them from coming in O2 quickly. And a lot of Infestitarians come out. He's probably going to go ahead and throw down some creep tumors. Has a lot of queens out here. Doesn't want to lose all these queens, though. In the meantime, a lot of Roaches hitting this base, but oh, this attack not going to work. The Immortal over there really helping to hold this off. And YoungHwa has beautifully split up his units here. Oh, and targeting down the Nidus so the queens cannot escape. That's a huge loss for Min. And YoungHwa has just so successfully held off this double-pronged attack. It was a beautiful army split by him, and now Min is just sitting here on 3 bases against a 3-base Protoss that has almost as much supply as him. Let's take a look at upgrades. It's 1-1 for YoungHwa. For Min, it's just 1-0 with 2-0 almost done, and he's going 3-base Hive. His main minerals are already gone. He's trying to take a 4th, but it's super, super late. He lost a gigantic amount of queens, which can be useful all game long, especially with Broodlord tech that he's going for with this Spire right now. Oh, this is looking great for YongHwa, even though Min has more supply. I mean, ouch. I liked the idea, and I can't believe he actually found a location that all these pylons around here. There's like a pylon here as well that they could not see. He could only see it when the creep was there, so he had zero idea that was coming in, and I mean, that's, wow. Crazy that he could find it. So YongHwa taking his own 4th base at the moment. And we'll have to see how this goes. I mean, I like the position for YongHwa right now. He's getting that +3 ground attack. He already has 2-1 now, which means he has one more upgrade than the roaches of his opponent. A lot of lings on the way for Min. He's actually maxing out on lings right now. And there's so many Colossus out. You know, 3 Colossus with +2 attack are just going to clean up lings like nobody's business. And 42 roaches, 50 lings. And in fact, he's going to catch a lot of roaches over here. That's pretty brutal. That's a lot of supply down the tubes, but a counterattack trying to come in. Well, he might actually get the Nexus, and that's pretty big if he can get that. Do we have any sentries? No. Well, we do have some, but they're pretty far back. It looks like he's going to get it, but he sacrificed a lot of units to do so. Yeah, just barely getting it there. YongHwa trying with the force fields, just a little bit too far out of position. That was a ton of units that Min spent, but that's a nice Nexus kill. He pulled the army out of position, lost a lot of roaches up here to actually get that, then lost all those. Didn't really kill any of the Protoss army, so YongHwa has to decide, do I attack now? That's the important part. You know, he's got that 170-ish supply that is so powerful that it can deal with a non-high-tech Maxer. He is cleaning up a lot of creep here in the center. And Min might just go for another counterattack, because if you kill another Nexus, then suddenly YongHwa's like, well, damn, do I just do a base trade scenario or what here? And that can be pretty hard to win for anybody in any position. So it does look like Min is forcing YongHwa to make a tough decision here. YongHwa, do you try to go back and save this? And it looks like the answer is yes, he's going to try, but this is a lot of roaches. I don't know if he actually can right now. A lot of Infested Terrans going up. It really looks to me like this Nexus will go down, but can he save the roaches? Saving the Infestors immediately, or at least trying to. Looks like they will, in fact, go down, but this Nexus, as good as dead, dying right now, bringing up a lot of units right now as YongHwa. He wants to at least kill off all these roaches, but the roaches are going to just trade as best they can. Right now, Min is basically doing a great job of taking out bases of YongHwa. YongHwa was on his way to take out a base, never took it out, came back, killed the army, but still lost the base. That's pretty rough. And all this time, Min is continuing to tech up. Min is going right into Broodlords. We do have 10 Corruptors right now. And with 10 Corruptors popping out, he's going to have a lot of Broodlords. Min has positionally way outplayed YongHwa. But YongHwa's army right now is still very scary with this many Colossus. He's got 5 Colossus, 2 Immortals, 12 Sentries. What the? That's insane. Oh my god, I can't believe. Well, he has so much gas compared to minerals right now that I kind of understand, but realistically, you'd want Archons over Sentries. That's like, that is so many right now. And oh, everything's freezing. Uh-oh. Well, I don't know why. Oh, okay, I guess it's still alright. Everything froze there for a moment. I hope everything's still working out. StarCraft, like, froze for a moment. Sorry about that, guys. But anyways, so let's take a look at that again. So, he made so many sentries, and I feel like the reason he's made 12 sentries here is he thinks that it's just going to keep being roaches and infestors. So he's leaving sentries at these bases to just force field off everything. But in fact, it's Broodlords, and sentries are not good against Broodlords. You want, like, a few, but you don't want this many. So this is actually going to be really rough. I mean, it's going to hold him off for now, and it's going to allow him to come up here and kill off these roaches, but with 9 Broodlords out and 12 sentries out, those would be so much better spent as either teching up to motherships or, you know, getting High Templars or Archons or anything like that. And in fact, he is throwing down the Fleet Beacon. He is getting Psionic Storm, so those are 2 very important things. Now, we do have a lot of Broodlords flying forward here. YongHwa, let's see. I mean, he's got the 4th base going up, and that's really important, but how long can he hold on to it? What's the Infestor count at? Only 3, so that's actually really working in the favor of YongHwa. You need a lot of Infestors with your Broodlord army to really make it work out well. And here we go, he's going to start attacking again. Good force fields, these sentries coming in pretty handy so far. And this huge army coming up. We have a lot of Archons in it right now. That is how he's utilizing his gas. And a nice blink forward, trying to kill off as many Broodlords as possible. But there are a lot of Roaches here that are dealing a lot of damage as well. And it looks like YongHwa may be able to brute force his way right through this army. And that's pretty painful for Min. That's a very expensive army. I don't think he really expected that many Archons to actually be there. And in fact, YongHwa going to take out a base at the same time. And that drops YongHwa to 4 base, which is rather Min to 4 base, which is equal to YongHwa's bases, and that is never something you want as a Zerg player. And with that, a GG from Min, an actually really well-played game by both players. I actually liked Min's play in certain aspects of it a lot better, but YongHwa, with such tight builds, he did a great job. Guys, thanks for watching, and yeah, make sure you follow me on YouTube. It's youtube.com/ArtosisTV. If you like these commentaries. If you don't, then, well, don't subscribe then. See you guys later.